Hi, Tommy Heffron here from Precision Microbes. We're going to do a different video today. I'm here with Nevea and a pony they call the Queen. We're here in Sligo. We're about to meet a very interesting family and particularly boy by the name of Cathal McKeon Devaney. He's on a journey to the RDS and the team at Precision Microbes, we've got to know the McKeon Devaneys. We want to go with them on the journey. We want to see what's involved in bringing a pony from, qualifying up to the RDS and seeing how Cathal gets on. So I'm going to meet his mum, Gail. We're going to have a chat. Nevea is part of the team here and Daniel as well, and then we're going to meet Cathal for the first time and get a little insight into him, where he's at, and then we're going to follow him closer to time to the RDS, and we'll again see him back at the RDS for the actual show. So I'm really looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to Nevea? Yes. Very good. Okay, so we are going to the RDS with Cathal, and this is Cathal's mum, Gail.
Hi Tommy, how are you?
I'm delighted to be here. Gail, just tell
Delighted
people...
to have you here, so we are.
Thank you very much. Tell us where we are, first of all.
Well, first of all, you're in the lovely sunny side of Clooney, County Sligo, west of Ireland. And we're lucky it's not raining today.
Yeah, it's a bit cold. Look, thank you for opening up your yard. And I suppose we've been chatting, we've been, through Precision Microbes, got to talk to each other. Cathal's about to head on a very interesting journey over the next couple of weeks. He's been on an interesting journey.
Yes, he has. Yes.
And we had a chat and we had this idea, look, God, we'd like to go with him and see what that looks like. And you said, yeah, and this is the beginning of it. But I think before we have a chat with Cathal, it's important, as his mum as well, to give a bit of perspective on what's happening in relation to the RDS and ponies. It's something that's important to you, isn't it?
Oh, very much so, because considering I jumped myself as a child, I was very fortunate to actually be one of the few children back then that actually got to the RDS. That time it would have been the spring tour, you could go to Dublin twice. Yeah. You could go in the spring and then you could qualify. I went twice in 1 year. So I know what it's like. It takes a lot of work.
We were chatting about that. We're going to get into the work and we'll see a bit of that with Cathal, I think. But you described it to me. We had a cup of tea. You described to me a memory, because like we all remember different things from our childhood, but tell me about that memory of, because again I'm not from that. I know the RDS, but to be immersed in it, people will understand it. Tell me the memory of competing. You gave me an image of the day of the competition. What was that?
It's very stressful. Like it is very, very stressful. You put a lot of time and effort into it, but every child's dream, every child wants to get to the RDS. They want to compete. They want to get to the main ring. Okay. It's all about the main ring. Yeah. Every child wants to warm up in that arena, in the warm-up arena where there's thousands of people around, where you would have seen your idol. As a small child myself, I would have seen the likes of Eddie Mack and
the heroes of the sport.
The heroes of my era, riding around there and then walking on those rubber mats across in through the tunnel, it's like the GAA tunnel. Yeah.
So you're coming out of this dark tunnel. You described it into the light.
Into the light, and then you're in the courtyard, and then you're standing and you're waiting, and you have the pocket bar on your right, and you have the clock in front of you, and then you have the white gate, the famous white gate.
And that opens.
That opens back towards you.
You can still remember that?
Oh yes, I can remember it like it was yesterday.
So Cathal is heading on that journey. We're going to go with him. We're going to be in the RDS. We're down in the yard here now. They're playing football. They're in a different zone. All Nevea is here and Daniel's here as well. Let's take us back a little bit, because we're coming up to, I think, the pony here, as you described her, the Queen.
The Queen, yes.
This is the pony that he's going to be competing on.
Yes, correct, yeah.
And so this pony just didn't land in the yard, and Cathal didn't just get to Dublin.
No.
What's been involved? We're going to chat to Cathal about this, but what's been involved in Cathal's story to get this pony and get to Dublin?
Okay, well, we were fortunate enough. We kind of fell into the pony, to be honest.
Yeah.
We had lost a foal the night before.
Okay.
We have a pony that would have bred quite a few top ponies, and she had foaled that night and the foal died. So we had gone to the local centre, show jumping centre, and I was very down in the mouth. I was
Okay.
very
Yeah,
annoyed because I put my whole heart into it.
This whole yard, I think, is like it's an extension of the house
Of the
inside
house,
the
yes,
yeah.
because if you're a horse person, you understand. You treat them like they're your children. You
Yeah.
love them, you care for them, you mind them. So that day I went up, and I was very upset.
Yeah.
I looked like Mike Tyson gone wrong with two
Okay.
big, huge red eyes.
Yeah, so
I was very upset.
Lots of tears shed.
Lots of tears shed, yes, because you put, like, we had kept the mare and we'd bred foals off her and whatever. So, look, it's when you have livestock, you're going to have dead stock, and unfortunately, that's it. So, this man approached me, and he said, "Have you a 13-2 for Cathal?" And I said, "Jesus, no." I said, "I don't." I said, "I wouldn't have anything like that." And he says, "Well, I have a pony."
And when he talks about a pony that matched maybe his skill set.
Yes.
Yeah, not just any pony.
Not just any pony. And I was like, he said, "I have a pony." And I said, "Right, okay." He said, "The pony's name." And I said, "Definitely not." And he said, "No." He said, "Look, he said, I've seen Cathal ride. I like Cathal." He said, "He's a good rider. He just needs good ponies." So I'm very grateful to that man, Bob Sweeney.
Yeah.
We paired up with him, and from then on, it has just been, it's been a wonderful journey.
And the partnership, we're going to hear from Cathal about the partnership between rider and pony. That's really important.
Yes,
So,
very much so.
Yeah. So like this pony, this is a special pony in relation to ability.
Yes. But she's a special...
She knows we're talking about her.
Yeah, of course she does, because she's a special pony in every way. It's not just the fact that she'll go out and jump. She gives you her whole heart. Like she minds you, like she's easy in every way. Every day she gets up, she wants to please you.
Okay.
She's just a happy pony, and she's a pony that's very easy to love.
Okay.
You know, and I think nowadays, I think that children need to realise that going to Dublin and jumping in competitions, it's not all about fancy tack and expensive riding boots. It's about going out and actually getting to know your pony.
Okay.
Being able to walk in the field and call your pony, and your pony come to you.
Stuff that's beyond the glitz and the glamour.
It's not all about glitz and glamour.
And so then one of the questions I have, we're going to have a chat with Cathal now next, and a chat with him, is the pressure that's involved with having, and you've lots of rosettes in there, lots of colours.
But we've also had lots of bad days too.
Yeah, so talk to me a little bit about the pressure. How do you like to, because they're your kids, you've been there before, you've experienced the pressure. How do you manage that? Because pressure can be good.
It can.
But it also can be bad.
It can.
So
it
what does that look like for kids?
Well, first of all, a lot of the pressure is not put on by the parents.
Okay.
A lot of it is because all the children that do this want it as much as the next child. And I think that you can either deal with it in two ways. You can either just go in and give your child a positive experience, and when things go wrong, then you come back and you learn from it.
Okay.
Those are the only two things that you can do. Now, for me personally, Cathal has just come back from the 2-star Mullingar International show, and that was probably one of the hardest shows I've ever done in my life.
Okay.
He jumped the European Children on Horses trials.
Yeah.
Now that is pressure.
Okay.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said yes, jumping an RDS qualifier, and I'm not been flippant to anybody. Yes, it is pressure, but the further up the ladder you go, the pressure, like it gets higher and higher and higher. And it was a fantastic show, and he gained so much experience. But yes, that was pressure, because as a parent, you want your child to do well.
Okay.
But there's only going to be 4 riders and a reserve to represent your country.
Yeah, and so when you want, again, as a dad, parent, you understand that very, very well, that you want them to do well and you want them to succeed. So dealing with not succeeding, dealing with not succeeding is a big challenge as well.
Yes, it is, and like that, he has just come back. He didn't make the team, not because he wasn't good enough, just because there was children there that have good horses, and he has next year. There's always next year.
Yeah.
But you have to take the positive from it.
Okay.
Like, he went for 3 days and jumped 2 horses around very big tracks, along with adults. He was the leading Children on Horses rider for the show of 2024. I have come back with a good vibe. I have a good feeling about it. We've learned lots.
Yeah.
And I think that instead of zoning in on oh, I didn't get a rosette, or I didn't do this, or I didn't win that. I think people should take from, if you go out and you ride well and your horse jumps well, and if you have a fence down or two, you go home and you learn from it.
It's a bit like life, I think, Gail, in fairness.
It is 100%.
Life, and we see, like, we're, as a business, and the precision microbes, I know you're using them here in the yard, and we're going on this journey with you. We see the same thing in business, you see it in life, you see it in sport.
Yeah.
It's ups and downs. So let's this dog doesn't like a mic in the camera, so if we think, I suppose the best thing we could do now is we're going to have a chat with Cathal.
Yes.
He's going to tell us a little bit about preparation, and he's going to introduce us properly to the Queen, who's a very, very quiet lady,
Yes, she is.
isn't she?
Yes, yeah, that's
Right.
why she got the name the Queen.
All right, Cathal, this is the man of the moment. Thank you very much. I had a great chat with your mum. I think she gave us a really good sense. Nevea's flying around here as well. She had a really good sense of, you know, a little bit about your pony and what you've achieved to date. And now the focus is on the RDS, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop talking now, and you're going to tell some people, who are you, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
So tell people who you are.
Hello, my name is Cathal McKeon Devaney. I'm an Irish show jumper, and this is my pony Ruby Brown, who I've recently qualified for the RDS.
And tell me a little bit, you're going to open the door and you're going to show us, so just tell me a little bit before we start talking about the RDS, because that's the up and coming journey.
Yeah.
How long have you been riding ponies? This didn't start last week, did it?
Yeah, no, since I was around 3 I started, and then I got Ruby around the start of last year, about 2 weeks before the qualifiers.
Okay.
And we got our first qualifier in Reeks, and she carried me around as I wasn't really used to the big tracks, like. But
that was in the RDS last year, isn't it?
Yeah, it was in the qualifiers,
okay.
and then we ended up getting qualified in the second one.
Okay.
And then she carried me around the RDS as well, as I wasn't.
When you
used
say
to
carried you around, she's a really capable pony.
Yeah,
and you were still learning, maybe that.
But like, she give you your heart, like she's really.
Your mum said that as well, so you've got a connection with her, have you?
Yeah, she's a very nice pony. I love her, like.
So what makes a nice pony? She's easy to work with, she's easy to ride.
Yeah, like, she's good to jump, but you know, that's besides the point. Like, she would just give you her heart. She'd do anything for you, you know, to help you out.
And you know that from, like, that, and I'm trying to understand that because I think it's a really interesting thing to say. You know that from riding ponies for all your life.
Yeah.
Different ponies, some of them are cross, some of them are easy, and this lady, you've made a connection.
Yeah, like, she was locally bred here in Enniscrone by Frank Howley.
Yeah.
And she somehow managed to make her way back to Sligo again.
Okay, so she left Sligo and came back.
Yeah, she was down south, I think, for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's, because your mum said that because you're a good rider, you've lots of ability. We're going to actually see that ability as well. And I know Mike might catch you as we get closer to Dublin, riding and preparing. Because you're such a good rider, the man said he wanted to give you this pony to see where the partnership would bring you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for him now. Bob, Sweeney and Carrie, they've given me plenty of ponies. Like, I'd be nowhere without them.
But I don't think they give to you unless you have ability, Cathal, and you have ability.
Yeah.
So what does it take? She wants to get out of the box and go over to Mike in the camera. What does it take? What preparations involved here now? Tell us what's happening day to day. What's your routine? You're finished school, so you have a little bit more time.
Yeah, we have more time, but usually, like, she might, if we jump her the weekend before, we might give her the Monday off, and then she can have a rest day on the Monday, and then we do a little bit with her on the Tuesday, just stretching her out, and then a little bit on the Wednesday. We might give her a jump the Thursday. Then maybe it depends on how the week's going. We could give her a rest the day before the show, but it all depends, like.
Okay. And do you get nervous?
Sometimes, like, I can't say I don't, but an odd time, but like, usually I try my best not to, and
And your mum told me a very interesting story about when she was, I didn't ask her what age she was, I presume she wasn't too far off your age when she was in the RDS.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, good slag your mum, that's what they do, right? I think what's really interesting is she told me a story about, like it was yesterday, 'cause she told me in the kitchen as well, about her competing and going to, seeing her heroes, going across the road, the Simmons Court, going into the tunnel, waiting at the crossroads and the white gates opening.
Yeah.
So that could be you.
Hopefully, I don't know, with a bit of luck maybe, like, you know.
So will you let us go on this journey with you?
Yeah.
You let us go, and we'll probably come back to you again. We'll see how you're getting on closer to the time.
Yeah.
You call this pony the Queen now, so
We do, and she is.
see, this is the Queen.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back, see how the Queen is. She's gonna you mind yourself, and she minds herself. We
Yeah.
come back, and then we meet you in the RDS, and we see the trials and tribulations of the couple of days and what
Yeah.
goes into preparing it.
Yeah.
And we'll be cheering you on. So look, from me, I'm delighted. I'm learning all the time. It's my second time down here. I brought a proper camera, not the mobile phone.
Yeah.
So look, thank you, Cathal. Thanks for your
yourself.
time. Thanks for chatting to us, and we'll see you either back here or we'll see you in the RDS.
Yeah, thank you yourself.
Very good.
So again, our first one to the winner now, please. So have a ball to the winner. For Cathal McKeon, Ruben Brown, also winner, Ruben on Dublin.
So zoom forward in our time machine from Sligo to the Dublin Horse Show. Here we are, back with Cathal McKeon Devaney. Cathal, how are you?
Not so bad. Ruby just finished up 5th in the Simmons Court to qualify for the final on Friday in the main arena.
I was going to introduce it, but you've told me already. It's a
Yeah.
very, very exciting morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very good result now for her, in fairness.
Tell me about it. We were down there watching you. Talk us through this morning. What happened?
Well, and in the first round, I was 9th-ish to go. I think there was 4 or 5 clear before I went in. And then she was clear. I didn't have the fastest time because I just tried to jump it clear. And then going into the jump off, there was about 15 in it.
Yeah.
And I was 5th-ish to go as well. So I didn't go mad because I didn't know it was the chance I was going to take. But I just kept moving and went tight. And got a steady enough clear and it got me in.
Very good. How excited are you?
Very, very,
Very.
excited.
It's
First
a
time
big
jumping
deal.
it.
This is the first time
Yeah.
you've qualified for final on Friday, isn't it?
Yep.
So tell me, we're going to go back. I know you're very busy, and the pony. How is the pony done? She's just recovering here, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She seems happy enough in fairness.
She's a beautiful pony, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She's very
And she's
good
quiet. She's content,
Yep.
and there's a nice shine off her. And Nevaeh is there in the background as well.
Yeah.
So all guns blazing. You're riding again tomorrow morning, aren't you?
Yeah, on a different pony.
Different pony, but the big one is on Friday now, isn't
Yeah.
it? So what's the preparation look like? What is it going to look like? What's Cathal be eating, drinking, sleeping? Will you be able to sleep?
I don't know. Oh, I will, I say.
Okay.
Sleep is my problem now. I don't know. We won't. I don't think we give her too much tomorrow. I might just ride her out, give her a show around and that. But I suppose like she's jumped today, so it's kind of today. It's the best day to get in because it's a qualifier tomorrow. But you can give her tomorrow off. Like
So she has a break now, and you have a break. What are you going to do for the break?
I don't know. Well, I'm doing it
Stroll
tomorrow
around?
then, but yeah. I don't know. It's
What does a champion athlete like you eat? What's the diet? We'll have to find out. We'll have to find
whatever's
out.
given to me.
Whatever's given to you. Cathal, you're a legend. You're great. I'm absolutely delighted for you. I know there's an awful lot of work since we met you probably 6-8 weeks ago now. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
You were in prep, and this is what it's all about. And you've qualified for Friday. So you're a winner anyway, and you're even a bigger winner now. So we can't wait for Friday. And thank you very much for the two of you letting us into the stable this morning for a chat.
No bother.
Cathal, we're back again. You're back to school.
Yeah.
It's how many? It's 3 weeks since the RDS.
Yep.
And we're here to have a chat with you. Are you happy to be back to school?
No.
You were telling me you love school.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been a real pleasure. We spent actually a good bit of time with you in Dublin. We met you several times, and then we went to interview. After all your success, getting to the finals, you were exhausted. It's a long week, isn't it?
Yeah, it is now. Very long, but enjoyable, like.
Enjoyable. Okay, tell people about the week, because we were there, we saw what happened. Go back again, let's relive it. You qualified first of all. How did you jump in that on the Wednesday? This is the pony. First introduce the pony.
This is Ruby Brown. She was bred locally here by Frank Howley in Enniscrone. But the first qualifier was on the Wednesday, and she jumped double clear and was 5th in that. So then she didn't need to jump the Thursday. And then the final was on Friday, which she was clear in the first round and just unlucky 4 in the second, but she still finished up 5th.
Tell me, right, so I was asking you a question. I said, out of 10, how much do you like jumping before the RDS? And you said you were about an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
Right, so you got to go through the white gates, you got into the arena, the final arena. Where are you now? How out of 10?
I suppose when you're up that high, I suppose I can't go far, but it added more enjoyment to the sport anyway, I suppose.
How much more determined are you now to keep at it?
I suppose a good bit more. Yeah, it was a good week in fairness.
It was a brilliant week, and I was watching you, and I don't know much about it, but I know that you can appreciate any sport that someone's at their top level. I couldn't believe the size of the jumps, the speed, and you're pretty fearless, aren't you?
Ah, yeah, I suppose. Experience as well, I suppose.
And you're more experienced now, and the relationship between you and Ruby Brown, how important is that?
I suppose it's a big part of it too. Like, if you don't get along with the pony or don't suit it, you know, you mightn't get on half as well as someone that would, you know.
Yeah. Well, I would love to be your age again and doing all my life over again. You wouldn't think that now, but like, so you've so much ahead of you, right? And what does the winter look like now for you? What's the next year look like for you? You kind of crossed a big bridge getting to Dublin, didn't you?
Yeah.
And getting to the final. Of course, you probably would have loved to win. But what's the next couple of months and the next year look like for you?
I suppose there'll be two, maybe 3 more calving shows left at the end of the year, and then some of the ponies will go out for a break, and then they'll come in end of February-ish time and do some of the spring tours, depending on which pony it is.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of getting ready for qualifiers again and doing it all over again.
Doing it all over again, and you're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I know Daniel's here, Nevea's here, your mum's here, they're all here. Now you're very shy, of course, right?
Yeah,
and actually, no, you've been absolutely brilliant, because it's very hard for somebody like to come into yard and we shove a camera in your face and you chat away. I think we've really enjoyed watching you in Dublin, Cathal. Really enjoyed getting to know you. You've a bright future ahead of you. You've a great personality, and look, you're a credit to your family, and as all the kiddies are. And I think you're one to watch, right? So I'm going to have a chat with your mum, right? But I think you're one to watch. I think she'd be very proud of what you did in Dublin.
Yeah.
And look, Ruby Brown, she agrees with me as well. Okay, so we met Cathal. We're here with Gail, McKeon, Devaney in Sligo, 4 weeks out from Dublin.
That's correct, Jess. It's been a very long 4 weeks, might I add.
I imagine, because you told me you went to Mullingar, you had the Connacht shows, there was several things, but one of the things you wanted to do, Gail, was, I suppose, cover Cathal's journey to Dublin, how he got on. Incredibly exciting. But can I just, before I start, say one thing? We were in Dublin for 5 days. And the amount of people who came up to us and talked about straightforward horse and ponies on Instagram, Nevea, Daniel, Cathal, and what they're doing, and just like you've got his fan base, but like just people love the videos, they love the reality of what you're doing.
Thanks, Tommy. And firstly, I would like to say thank you to each and every person who has taken the time to follow us, who go on every evening with their children, who watch us. We really appreciate it, because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing it.
But people love it. I think the real element of it, right? So if you look at the real element of that, the real element of Dublin for you, when I spoke to you originally, you were reliving your own memories.
Yes, of course.
Of going through describe that again to people, getting to the final.
It's an experience that no matter what age you are in life, that it never leaves you, because it's like the GAA footballers, it's like the hurlers, it's like everything. It's bred into you. It's an Irish tradition. Everybody wants to get to that All-Ireland final.
Yeah.
They want to get to the Dublin Horse Show. And once you've experienced that, it's something that will sit with you in your heart for the rest of your life. And it's a story that you can tell your children, they can tell their children, and so on and so forth.
And to take that, so it must have been a very special week for you, if we go back to Cahill's week as a mum, for all the family, to see him on the Wednesday to qualify and then to see him get into the final.
Of course, yes. And of course, obviously, because last year he was so unlucky. When I think back now, it was a big ask to ask Cathal to ride the pony. He had only sat on the pony the week before the first qualifier. He was really thrown in at the deep end, but he took it on board. He qualified, he got a spot, he got to the RDS. So this year it was game face on. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He's had 12 months to prepare. All he wanted was that stage to get in, to see.
He did so well. I mean, we was there that morning watching him jumping.
Yeah.
A little bit unlucky with the pole.
Yeah.
Very difficult as well when you go first, I think.
Of course. And of course, Tommy, also too, like as I said, for every child, this is all that they want. Every child growing up, if you have a pony, this is the final destination. Every child, it's the big one. It's what everyone strives to do to get there. But being drawn first was a big thing.
Yeah.
It was, for your first time to jump in the main ring, it was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Because it was added pressure of not having to see anyone else jump the track, see how it rode.
Yeah.
So when you walk through that white gate and you go to actually stand foot in that beautiful arena,
It is beautiful.
and like, credit to the RDS, it's fantastic. Like, the ground is immaculate. The jumps are immaculate. It's top class. Hence why everybody wants to jump there. But yeah, he rode it like a pro. And I'm not saying it because he's my own son. He done really well.
I think that's one thing that was somewhere we can all be guilty with our children of thinking our ducks are swans sometimes.
Yes.
But you're very realistic about them, and you know that it's the kindness, but also they need that little bit of a killer instinct as well to compete,
yeah.
and that's the reality.
And like everything, everybody needs the rub of luck too.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
like
you need to rub a look at life in general.
Yes, you do. So like, you can be lucky and go in, and you can jump a clear round. But I think for any child that has experienced jumping under that pressure, their first experience getting to jump in that ring, been drawn first, it's more pressure added on you, because you don't get to see the other kids jump where, the stride didn't come up, or the distance, they went down a distance which should have been 5 and they went down it in 6, and they had a pole, or the time allowed was tight, or different things that when you're first drawn, you can't figure them out. You go in and you jump.
They're the experiences that will make him better.
Yeah, 100%.
I was asking him, prior to Dublin, he said he's up there in the Vale. He was an 8.5 out of 10 for the love of it, maybe a 9. He said he's a 9.5 now, and that's all any of us can hope, I suppose, is that people are interested and he keeps going.
Yeah.
With that being said, one of the things I suppose that you said to me very early on that struck a chord with me is that we're 4 weeks later, life goes on.
Oh, yeah.
School is here, you're back in the yard, back in
in the
routine.
yard, yeah.
It's not the be all and end all either for people,
No,
isn't it?
it's not. Like, the thing that people need to understand too is that, yes, we work our whole year around 1 week to get to jump in the RDS. And like, as I said, everybody wants to jump there.
Yeah.
But there's other shows. There's lots of other shows that kids can jump at, that you can produce young ponies to go towards as well. Like, Horse Sport Ireland have introduced a lot of young classes that were never available before to pony riders.
Yeah.
They were only available to horses. So now these are available now, that if you have an Irish a pony with breeding recorded on one side, you can now show jump them in those horse sport classes, and the prize money is fantastic out of it.
Okay. Well, I suppose, listen, it's been a privilege to meet you, and we've been up and down a few times and talked to you, and you're doing something very interesting. You have
Thanks,
a huge
Tommy.
following, and I think it comes from the reality.
The reality is that we're no different than any other family that's out there.
Yeah.
We get up, we ride in the rain, we have to work. That's it. Because it's, at the end of the day, if you don't love the horse, then what's the point in doing it? And if you can't teach your children that, then why do it? Like,
Yeah.
it's it's a passion that you have inside that you try to give to your children or to people that are around you. That there's not many people that can go around the world or go wherever, and the skill that they have to tack up or to break a young pony or a young horse. There's a lot of children that jump at this sport that don't know how to do that. And I think that that's where my children are unique, because it's that special bond and love that you have with a horse that will stick with you for the rest of your life. So,
but it's very special, and it's been a privilege to be here. Continued success.
Thank you very
to
much,
you and
Tommy.
all the kids. I really enjoyed meeting you for the last couple of months. Been up here and meeting you again in the future, and really watching all of them. Nevaeh, Daniel. Nevaeh's only getting going.
Yes.
Nevaeh's a little bit of a rock star in her own.
She definitely is.
She is.
Definitely. And I would also like to take this opportunity, as I said already, to thank each and every person that follows us, that keeps interacting with us the whole time, but also to thank Precision Microbes as well. Thank you, because it's like a piece of a jigsaw. Every little piece sits together and it makes the whole picture, and it has made a phenomenal difference to our ponies. So
we really
I
appreciate
will
that.
always be forever grateful, Tommy.
Thanks very much, and that's a nice way to end, Gail. And again, thank you, and we wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
And watch Real Horses and Ponies, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you can.
Anywhere you can see us, we're everywhere. We're in everybody's face. God love them.
Very good.